New York City doesn't apologize. It doesn't slow down when lives collide. It doesn't warn you when one careless moment is about to rewrite everything you believe about love, control, and fate. It just keeps moving. On a gray Manhattan morning, two strangers signed a document they barely read and accidentally became husband and wife. They didn't meet through love. They didn't meet through destiny. They met through paperwork. And that mistake would change everything. This is the story of Alexander Montgomery and Lily Harper. Before we dive into this billionaire romance drama, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any of our romantic story releases. And if you're ready for twists, drama, and slow burn love, give this video a thumbs up and let us know in the comments if you've ever had love find you in the most unexpected way. Alexander Cole Montgomery moved through Manhattan like a man untouched by chaos. At 34, he was already a billionaire CEO of Montgomery Holdings, raised on discipline, trained in control, fluent in numbers and negotiation. Emotion had never been part of the plan. He crossed Fifth Avenue while speaking into his headset. "No delays," he said calmly. "I want everything finalized today." Alexander believed in systems, in structure, in outcomes that could be predicted and controlled. He had no idea the one system he trusted most was about to fail him. Across the river in Brooklyn, Lily Harper stood on a crowded subway platform, gripping a manila folder like it was oxygen. Because for her it was. At 27, Lily lived paycheck to paycheck, not because she lacked talent, but because New York demanded more than effort. It demanded precision. One missed signature could mean losing her apartment. The train roared in. She checked her phone again. Late. She exhaled, steadying herself. Today mattered. She just didn't know how much. The New York City clerk's office was overwhelmed. Phones rang unanswered. Printers jammed. Two clerks were absent. The digital system lagged under pressure. Alexander approached one counter. Lily approached another. Behind the scenes, a small but believable error unfolded. Two files. Similar surnames. One marriage license pending confirmation. One affidavit awaiting notarization. The system auto-merged them. The clerk didn't notice. "Alexander Montgomery?" she called. Alexander stepped forward. So did Lily. They stopped, looked at each other, confused but unconcerned. "Same surname," the clerk muttered. "Happens all the time." She turned the tablet. "Sign where highlighted." Alexander signed without reading. Lily hesitated. "This is just verification, right?" "Yes," the clerk said quickly. Lily signed. The clerk stamped the document, uploaded it, and said the words that sealed everything. "Congratulations. You're all set." They left separately. Alexander took a call. Lily stepped into the sunlight, relieved. Behind them, the system updated. Status: marriage registered. New York didn't notice. 3 days later, Lily opened her mailbox. She expected housing confirmation. Instead, she found a letter with an official seal. She read it once, then again. Her knees weakened. "Confirmation of your legal marriage to Alexander Cole Montgomery. This can't be real," she whispered. Across Manhattan, Alexander's lawyer stood frozen. "You're married," he said. Alexander laughed once. "That's impossible." The tablet said otherwise. And for the first time in years, Alexander Montgomery felt something unfamiliar. Loss of control. They met again at the clerk's office. Recognition struck instantly. "You," Lily said. Alexander's voice was controlled, sharp. "You signed something." "So did you." The clerk spoke quietly. "The marriage is valid." Silence. Alexander leaned forward. "This will be annulled." The clerk swallowed. "Due to digital notarization, there's a mandatory review period unless fraud is proven." "How long?" Lily asked. 6 months. Lily laughed. Disbelief edged with panic. "So I accidentally married a billionaire." Alexander met her gaze. "And I accidentally married a stranger." Something sparked. Not attraction. Not yet. Awareness. New York did not pause for personal disasters. It simply absorbed them and demanded solutions. Alexander Montgomery stood at the head of the executive boardroom of Montgomery Holdings, the city stretching behind him in hard lines of glass and steel. The emergency meeting had been called within hours of the discovery. No assistance, no press, no unnecessary witnesses, just power and questions. 12 board members sat around the table, men and women who had watched Alexander rise into leadership, who trusted his instincts, and who now studied him with careful restraint. A screen glowed behind him. Risk. Let's be direct, the chairman said calmly. A marriage, accidental or not, is now public record. Another voice followed. Investors will ask questions. And with the acquisition this close, someone added, we cannot afford instability. Alexander listened without interruption. A sensitive acquisition. Weeks from final approval. Billions at stake. The timing was disastrous. This isn't about your personal life, the chairman continued. It's about perception. Alexander nodded once. I understand. An annulment? A board member asked. His general counsel responded. Possible, but not immediate. Silence settled. Immediate separation creates speculation, the chairman concluded. Speculation erodes confidence. The decision formed quietly. Maintain appearances. Avoid scandal. Control the narrative. You are the face of this company, Alexander, the chairman said evenly. You cannot appear reckless. The word lingered. Reckless. Alexander had built his empire on precision. He would not let a clerical error dismantle it. Several floors below, Lily Carter sat alone in a quiet legal conference room, hands folded neatly in her lap. She had not been invited to the board meeting, and she understood exactly what that meant. Decisions had already been made. The door opened. Alexander entered with his legal team. The room shifted from uncertainty to control. His lead attorney spoke first, her voice calm and precise. The marriage was legally valid. The error stemmed from a misfiled digital intake and an unchecked system confirmation. No fraud, no manipulation, just a mistake. An annulment was possible, but it required time, filings, and discretion. Lily listened carefully. Alexander watched her. She wasn't nervous, wasn't impressed. That unsettled him. I'll make this simple, Alexander said, sliding a folder across the table. A settlement. Generous. Lily didn't touch it. I won't be bought, she said quietly. The words landed heavier than he expected. You'd walk away from this? He asked. Yes. No hesitation. They discussed optics, careers, reputations, damage control. I didn't ask for this, Lily said firmly, and I won't let it define me. Reality settled between them. Until the annulment was finalized, the marriage existed, and Alexander's board knew. Their expectations were clear. No public separation, no public drama, no erratic behavior. They agreed to conditions spoken plainly. The marriage was temporary. No emotions, no intimacy, no public scenes. Appearances only. Nothing more. Alexander hesitated before speaking again. My penthouse, he said. It's secure. Discreet. Lily laughed once. You think I'm moving in with you? I think you understand the reality, he replied evenly. She stood. I'll find somewhere else. 3 days passed. Not from hesitation but from caution. Alexander's legal team worked quietly, sealing non-disclosure agreements, managing optics, ensuring that nothing about the situation appeared rushed or suspicious. New York noticed everything. During those days, Lily remained in her apartment. Surrounded by half-packed boxes, she refused to finish packing. Each day stretched longer than the last. Hotels asked questions. Short-term rentals leaked information. Even friends grew curious. Privacy was evaporating. On the third evening, reality left no room for pride. The car that picked her up was discreet. No logos, no attention. When Lily stepped into Alexander's penthouse, it was quiet, intentional. Alexander wasn't waiting in the living room. He was in his study, giving her space. She moved slowly through the apartment. Glass walls. Muted tones. A home designed for control, not comfort. The guest room was exactly as promised. Neutral. Prepared. Untouched. Her name was nowhere. Nothing claimed her. Alexander appeared in the doorway moments later. "You'll have privacy," he said. "No staff unless necessary." Their eyes met. Still strangers. Still careful. Rules remained unbroken. Temporary. Professional. Distant. That night, Lily stood by the window, watching the city breathe below. 3 days ago, she had lived alone. Now she shared a roof with a man she barely knew. Down the hall, Alexander stood at his own window, city lights reflecting off glass, and thought. This wasn't what either of them wanted. But it was where they were. Two lives now moving closer, not by desire, but by necessity. And necessity, over time, had a way of changing everything. The penthouse changed. Lily's shoes are by the door. Her mug is on the counter. Her laughter in the silence. She noticed he drank his coffee black. He noticed she hummed while thinking. They shared meals. Late nights. Unspoken comfort. The mornings were the most dangerous. Because mornings stripped away pretenses. Lily woke first most days. Not because she wanted to, but because Alexander's penthouse was too quiet. No sirens close enough. No neighbors arguing through thin walls. Just silence so complete it pressed against her chest. She padded barefoot into the kitchen, still half asleep, wearing one of his shirts by accident. Or maybe not by accident at all. She told herself it meant nothing. Just convenience. Just fabric. Alexander watched her from the hallway once. Unnoticed. Hair loose. Sleeves rolled. Completely unguarded. Something tightened in his chest. He'd negotiated billion-dollar deals without blinking. But this terrified him. "You drink your coffee black," Lily said suddenly, not turning around. He froze. "How do you know that?" She shrugged. "I notice things." So did he. They began orbiting each other naturally. No schedules. No agreements. Just unspoken adjustments. Alexander started coming home earlier. Lily stopped locking her bedroom door. Some nights they ate together, takeout cartons between them, shoes kicked off, news murmuring in the background. Other nights, they worked separately but in the same room, comforted by the quiet presence of the other. One evening, Lily fell asleep on the couch mid-sentence. Alexander draped a blanket over her carefully. His hand lingered. He wondered what it would be like to stop holding back. He didn't. The fight started over nothing. Milk left out. A meeting Lily forgot. A tone Alexander didn't soften fast enough. "You don't listen," Lily snapped. "I listen," he replied, irritated. "I just don't overreact." "That's not the same thing." Silence followed, sharp, uncomfortable. Then Lily laughed bitterly. "We're arguing like a real couple," she said. The words landed heavy. Alexander looked at her. So did the realization. He didn't apologize. Instead, the next morning, Lily found her favorite pastries on the counter. From the bakery she liked but never mentioned. She stared at them. Care, she realized, didn't always announce itself. That night she cooked dinner. For him. They ate quietly. Something fragile mended. Jealousy wasn't loud. Crept in sideways. In the way Alexander stiffened when Lily laughed too hard at someone else's joke. In the way Lily noticed when women lingered near him at events. At a gala, Lily held Alexander's arm. Cameras flashed. He leaned in. "I've got you," he murmured. And she believed him. One night, after a fundraiser, Lily asked casually, "Does it bother you? The attention?" He didn't pretend not to understand. "Yes," he said simply. She met his eyes. "Me too." They didn't say more. They didn't need to. It happened in the kitchen. Late, lights dim. Lily reached for a glass above the counter. Alexander stepped closer to help. Their hands brushed. Neither moved away. The air shifted. His voice dropped. "Lily." She looked up. For one suspended second, the city vanished. He leaned in. Stopped. Pulled back. "I can't," he said quietly. Not like this. She swallowed. Thank you, she whispered, because restraint felt more intimate than touch. Victoria Montgomery watched everything. This marriage wasn't meant to soften her son. It was meant to control him. She met Lily alone. You're changing him, Victoria said. I didn't ask to, Lily replied. Victoria studied her. You remind me of myself. Before I learned fear. It wasn't approval. But it wasn't rejection. Lily overheard the truth. The clerk was cooperative, Victoria said over the phone. Lily confronted Alexander. You suspected this. I did, he admitted. You let it happen. The hurt was quiet and devastating. That night, Lily locked her door. Alexander stood outside it, realizing something too late. They went days without real conversation. Shared space turned hollow. Alexander realized something then. Control meant nothing without trust. When the media attacked Lily, Alexander snapped. At a press event, a reporter asked, "Did you marry him for money?" Alexander answered before Lily could. No, she married me because of a mistake. And stayed because she's stronger than any of you. The room went silent. Later, Lily confronted him. Why? She asked. He answered honestly. Because loving you is the one thing I won't negotiate. Her breath caught. Fraud was uncovered. The marriage could be annulled immediately. Lily decided to pack her bags. Packing was slow, painful. Lily folded clothes methodically. Alexander stood uselessly nearby. I never wanted to hurt you, he said. I know, she replied. That's what makes it worse. I have to go, she said. If I stay, I won't be strong enough to leave. At dawn, she left. Alexander whispered the truth too late. I love you. She didn't turn back. The courtroom felt unreal. Victoria's composure cracked. Nathan's smirk faltered. The judge reviewed the case. This marriage may be annulled. Then asked, do either of you object? Alexander stood. Time stretched. Lily's heart pounded. Yes, gasped. I didn't choose how this began, he said. But I choose how it ends. He looked at Lily. I choose you. Silence. Then Lily stepped forward. I choose him. Freely. The courthouse emptied slowly. No shouting reporters. No dramatic exits. Just quiet resolution. Lily stepped out beside Alexander with nothing but her handbag over her shoulder. The same one she'd carried in that morning. The annulment had been granted. And yet, they had chosen each other. The driver opened the car door. Alexander paused, turning to her. Where do you want to go? He asked gently. Lily didn't answer immediately. Home, she said finally. My place. He nodded without question. The car turned toward Brooklyn. Traffic moved slowly over the bridge, the city softening as neighborhoods shifted. Lily watched familiar streets pass by, a strange calm settling over her. This was where she had returned after leaving the penthouse. Her clothes, her books, her sense of independence. Nothing had been rushed. The car stopped in front of her building. Alexander stepped out first, holding the door open. I'll give you space, he said. Take the night. Tomorrow. However long you need. She looked at him then. I don't need distance, Lily said quietly. I just needed to know I had a choice. He nodded. And now, she smiled faintly. Now I'll come back when I'm ready. That night, Lily slept in her Brooklyn flat. Her suitcase was still unpacked where she had left it days earlier. Nothing felt abandoned. Nothing felt unfinished. The next evening, she packed slowly. Not in panic, not in doubt. Just in tension. She texted Alexander. I'm ready. The car arrived an hour later. This time, Lily carried her suitcase with ease. Not because she had nowhere else to go, but because she was choosing where she belonged. When the penthouse door opened, Alexander was waiting. Not anxious, not uncertain, just steady. You're back, he said. Yes, Lily replied. Home. Victoria Montgomery did not apologize. She had never learned how. But change did not always arrive as words. Sometimes it arrived as restraint. After the courtroom, she said nothing for days. No calls. No instructions. No subtle corrections. Alexander noticed. So did Lily. One afternoon, weeks later, Victoria requested a meeting. Not with lawyers. Not with board members. Just Lily. The penthouse felt colder than usual as Lily stepped inside. Victoria gestured toward a chair. You challenged me, Victoria said evenly. Most people don't survive that. Lily met her gaze. I wasn't trying to win. I was trying not to disappear. Victoria studied her for a long moment. Then quietly, you stayed when leaving was easier. The words were not soft, but they were real. And for Victoria Montgomery, that was acceptance. Later that evening, Alexander found Lily on the balcony. She told him everything. She didn't threaten me, Lily said. That's new. Alexander exhaled slowly. My mother doesn't offer approval, he said. She tests endurance. Lily smiled faintly. Then I think I passed. Alexander looked at her, not as a man relieved, but as a son unburdened. For the first time, he realized something important. Loving Lily didn't cost him his family. It forced them to evolve. The penthouse no longer felt like borrowed space. Felt lived in. Soft lights glowed in the evening, the city humming beyond the windows. Lily stood barefoot in the kitchen, wearing one of Alexander's oversized shirts, stirring something on the stove that smelled faintly of garlic and comfort. Alexander leaned against the counter, sleeves rolled, watching her with an ease that hadn't existed weeks ago. This wasn't forced proximity anymore. This was home. My mother called today, he said casually. Lily smiled without looking back. That tone means she's planning something. She wants dinner, he said. With us. Lily turned then, wooden spoon in hand. Both of us? Yes, Alexander said. She said she wants to officially welcome you. Something warm settled in Lily's chest. That's surprisingly sweet. Alexander smiled. She likes you. She just wants time with you. Lily nodded thoughtfully. And my family? She asked. He didn't hesitate. I was hoping you'd say yes to that too. She set the spoon down and leaned against the counter across from him. My mom's been asking when she'll see us, Lily said softly. She knows how this started. She just wants to see how it ended. Alexander crossed the space between them. So, he said gently, we do both. Not as obligation, as choice. They sat at the small dining table later, wine glasses between them, talking through details with quiet laughter and shared understanding. No pretending, Lily said. They already know the truth. They know it was an arrangement, Alexander agreed, and that it became something else. She reached across the table, fingers brushing his. We just show up as ourselves, she said. That's enough. Alexander squeezed her hand. We arrive together, he said. And we leave together. Lily smiled. That part matters to me. He nodded. It matters to me too. Later that night, Lily stood at the mirror choosing dresses in her mind. One dinner formal and polished, the other warm and familiar. The Montgomery family dinner was formal without warmth. Crystal glasses, neutral conversation, eyes assessing Lily from every angle. Alexander squeezed her hand once beneath the table. She squeezed back. Victoria spoke last. To Lily, she said calmly, raising her glass. You entered this family under unusual circumstances. A pause. And stayed by choice. The room stilled. That, Victoria continued, commands respect. The toast was brief, but the silence afterward had changed. Lily belonged. Meeting Lily's family was nothing like that. It was loud, warm, unapologetically human. Her mother hugged Alexander before Lily could warn him. You're thinner than the photos, her mother said cheerfully. Sit, eat, you look starved. Laughter filled the small apartment. Alexander relaxed without realizing it. Lily watched him fit into her world. Awkward at first, then genuine. Her father studied him quietly. Later, alone, he said, You make her feel safe. That's all I needed to know. Alexander nodded. No deals. No negotiations. Just trust. Love did not remove ambition. Clarified it. When the board convened to review Alexander's leadership, the air was tense. Nathan Blake pushed hardest. Personal scandal compromises credibility, he argued. Alexander stood calmly. My personal life is no longer unstable, he said. It's grounded. He presented results. Growth, stability, expansion. Then he added something unexpected. I no longer lead from fear, and this company is better for it. The vote passed. Unanimously, Nathan said nothing. Alexander retained his position not despite love, but because of the strength it gave him. There was no spectacle, no press, no ring hidden in champagne. Just Alexander and Lily walking through Central Park at dusk. He stopped near the lake. I don't want to surprise you, he said. I want you to choose me. He held out the ring, not kneeling, not performing, offering. Lily laughed softly, eyes shining. I already did, she said. Then she kissed him. The wedding planning was intentional, not extravagant, not minimal, balanced. Lily insisted on simplicity. Alexander insisted on meaning. They argued over flowers, over music, over guest lists, but never about why. Every decision felt earned. The city watched quietly this time. No scandal, no rumors, just a man and a woman choosing each other publicly. Lily walked down the aisle steady and sure. Alexander waited, no longer guarded, no longer afraid. Their vows were simple. I choose you, Lily said. Every version of you. Alexander answered, I choose you. Without contracts, without fear, without conditions. They kissed, not as a headline, but as a promise. After the ceremony, Victoria approached Lily. She hesitated, then said, Protect him. Lily nodded. I will. Victoria turned to her son. You chose well. For Alexander, that was everything. New York kept moving. It always did. But somewhere between Brooklyn mornings and Manhattan nights, two strangers rewrote their story. They learned that love isn't found through control. It's chosen. Every day. And so, Alexander and Lily chose each other, proving that love can be found in the most unexpected moments. If you enjoyed this full romantic drama, make sure to subscribe for more heartfelt stories. Like this video to show your love, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear which part of their journey was your favorite. Don't forget to share this video with friends who love a good slow-burn billionaire romance.